This year, 2026, is a year that we anticipate that it's going to be a wonderful year to all of us. We thank God for 2025. It was a year of exploits. I know a lot of people achieved uh, what they had actually planned and what they had resolved that they want to work on in 2025. Um, this year, it's a year where I think we should ask ourselves questions that you should ask yourself before you make the 2026 resolutions. The important questions that you should ask yourself are you satisfied with what you achieved in 2025? It's important for you to know if you are satisfied with what you achieved, what you managed to attain, what you managed to produce in 2025. It's important for everyone to know what they have achieved in 2025 before you make the resolutions for 2026. Because once you just start by making the 2026 resolutions without looking back or without reporting or giving yourself feedback on what you managed to achieve would not make sense. So you actually have to build on what you achieved from last year. So are you satisfied with what you achieved? So we have to look into that. If you had planned to buy a car, did you manage to buy that car? How far are you in buying that car? If you have planned to raise 3,000, if you have planned to raise 5,000, how far are you with raising that amount of money towards buying that car? If it's a residential stand, how far are you buying that residential stand? If you are planning to raise 10,000, how far are you, and what are the strategies that you have put in place in raising that amount of money? So this year, 2026 could come with new ideas and all that, but there are things that are still pending from 2025 that you haven't completed as yet. That's buying that car. If you cannot start with new resolutions before you finish or you accomplish what you started in 2025. So I suggest you actually look back to what you had planned last year and revise and see how best can you achieve or can you come up with fast tracking that resolution from last year so that you complete what you had planned for yourself rather than coming up with new resolutions in 2026 and abandoning what you had started in 2025. You actually end up going in circles without achieving anything. So that's very important. So you also have to look at, are you satisfied with what you achieved in 2025? And how far have you gone? If you are not satisfied, how far have you gone? And what do you need to do to accomplish what you had planned last year? Okay. So then also we need to look at the second questions at what are the wrong decisions that you made in 2025 that led to you not being able to accomplish or to achieve what you had planned. So it is very important to look at the decisions that you made that did not contribute or that led to you not achieving what you had planned for in 2025. So that's another question. What are the wrong decisions that you made that made you not to be able to achieve, that led to you regressing or not being able to achieve what or the goals that you had set for yourself? So this is what we have to also look into the decisions that we made and what also influenced those decisions. Is it peer pressure from friends and family that everyone is buying a car? I also need to buy a car. Is it pressure from workmates that everyone is buying or is upgrading their cars? I also need to buy the GD6. I also need to buy probably the new car in town. That's we have a lot of models that are coming out of the Honda model. Do you need to is it important for you to upgrade at this particular moment? So this is a very important to you for you to consider, to look into the decisions that you made in 2025. Okay, so once you establish or once you identify those decisions, go back and go back and look into how you can make those decisions right. So this is one other thing that you need to do. Look into the decisions that you made, see if they are beneficial or they are consequential to you. So you have to change. This will feed into the new plans, the new resolution, the strategy for 2026. So you have to revise and look into what made you not achieve what you had planned in 2025. Okay, so this is one other area that needs to be looked into. Then also, the most important part now, if you were to score or to rate yourself out of 10, we would say, not probably 100%, but out of 10, what score would you give yourself? This would feed into the question, are you satisfied with what you achieved in 2025? So giving yourself a score would also give you a sense of agency, a sense of change in terms of what you need to change. Okay. If you had planned to probably, like we are saying, buy a car, buy a residential stand, okay, be it business, probably you wanted to expand, grow your business into probably open another branch, a second branch in another town. Did you manage to achieve that? So when it comes to business, people would need to plan and see where did they go wrong, how did they fail in terms of opening that branch, increasing their products, putting more products on their shelves. What were the challenges? So that would need score giving yourself a score would also help you in seeing where your plans are and where your business will stand. So these are some of the things that you need to look into. Then also we need to have a habit of self introspection every time. So people, when they set their resolutions, they just write them in their diaries, close that book, and what's next? They just go with the wind, they go with the flow, and wait for the year to come to an end and start planning again next year. So you have to self introspect every now and again. You need to look at your plans. Where are you in terms of achieving what you have planned? So every time, make it a habit that you need to be always referring to your plans, giving yourself a rating all the time, that how have I improved from this point to that point? How close am I to achieving what I have planned for myself? So 2026, I hope it's going to be a good year for you and you'll be able to achieve all your plans. What you need to do is, once you identify the decisions that you made, uh, which were not probably a good decisions, you need to find ways in which to fine tune or rectify those decisions, because with the wrong decisions we'll never achieve what we initially had planned to achieve. Okay, so we also need to have a rating of ourselves. This is another question that you need to ask. Out of 10, what score would I give myself out of 10 in terms of achieving what you had planned for yourself? So out of 10, many of us would find that probably it would be very difficult. It would be very difficult for us to score even a 5 out of 10, mainly because we forget plans that we initially had put into place. We shelve those decisions. That's why I'm saying you need to ask yourself these pertinent questions before the 2026 resolutions. What did you do in 2025? The wrong decisions that you made, the decision, probably you had abandoned the plans that you initially had and came up with new plans because of pressure, because of family pressure, because of other commitments, emergencies, and all that. So, but this doesn't mean that you need to divert your focus on the plans that you had, because usually something that you plan is something that is important, that is life changing and enlightening to your daily life. So we need to keep focus on those plans and decisions. The only thing that you can do is to have new strategies, new ways in how achieve those strategies, achieve those plans, actually, not strategies. So out of 10, scoring yourself out of 10, it's also another way of trying to knock sense into your mind or into your head that I managed to achieve what I had planned in 2025. So it is very important for you to score or to give yourself a score out of 10. So make sure you do that and you give yourself a score out of 10. So this is going to give you the direction in which you are going to take in 2026. So there is also need for self-introspection. You cannot do anything that you'll be able to achieve, that you'll be able to have a positive achievement without self-introspection. You need to have self-introspection on your character, your attitude towards things, your mindset, the approach that you have in executing your plans in the year that is that is 2026. So this is important to self-introspect. What do you need to change? Things that, because many of the times the decisions that we make are probably influenced by the wrong things. So we need to introspect that, am I a person that actually goes with the flow, goes with the wind? Am I a person, someone, because you know what, a lot of people go with the wind, especially when probably like there are loans that are coming out, rush for those loans. You have abandoned the initial plan. You now committed to other things that you never had planned or that was never on your plans or resolutions in the beginning of the year. So we need to actually work on that, self-introspect yourself in all the areas that you think are important to your life, because 2026 will be another year or another wasted year without change or without anything that has improved in your life. You find yourself at the 31st of December being in the same position that you were just a few days ago. So you need to self-introspect before you even do your resolutions for 2026. So you need to give yourself a rundown of 2025, what you achieved. I hope it's going to be a good year for you and you'll be able to achieve all your plans.